Elvis Presley, the name conjures images of flashing lights, rock and roll music, and a cultural phenomenon that shook the world. But behind the spectacle, there's a story woven from memories, people, and moments that few know about. This story is not just about the music, it's about the lives that touched Elvis and helped shape the legend. As I sit down to share this journey, I'm reminded of the countless individuals whose voices have faded into the background, yet their stories are essential to understanding the man and his magic. It's hard to believe that this sprawling tale began with nothing more than a collection of memories. These memories, raw and unpolished, were shared with me during my work on The Elvis Trail, a BBC radio series that, despite its focus on Presley's travels, became a vessel for something far deeper. The real magic happened in conversations, in living rooms, over cups of coffee, and in quiet moments where people felt brave enough to speak of their encounters with the king himself. These weren't just any encounters, they were the stuff of everyday life intertwined with extraordinary moments. People like Jimmy Angel, a singer whose voice was as smooth as honey but whose story remained untold until now. Or James Osborne, whose family's history is as complex as the roots of a mighty oak tree. Each person, from the famous to the forgotten, contributed a piece of the puzzle that is Elvis Presley. Take, for example, Sam Bell. He wasn't a star, but he was part of the landscape that shaped Elvis's early years. Bell's family owned a gas station where young Elvis would stop, the seeds of his future career perhaps planted in those brief interactions. Or consider Jack Barrelson, whose name may not ring a bell, but whose work behind the scenes helped bring Elvis's voice into homes across America. These individuals, and many others, are the unsung heroes of Elvis's story. They are the ones who made the call, offered a hand, or simply shared a moment. Their stories, when pieced together, paint a vivid picture of an era and a man who touched so many lives. This book is their tribute, a collection of voices that might have otherwise been lost to time. Creating this book wasn't a solitary endeavor. My producer, Neil Rosser, was a rock solid in the midst of it all, guiding us through the labyrinth of memories and interviews. Barbara Paskin, my researcher, was like a detective, uncovering details and connecting dots that I might have missed. But above all, it was the interviewees who brought this project to life. Their stories, often simple yet profound, were the heart of this work. People like Charlene Presley and Sybil Presley, Elvis's sisters, who shared memories of their brother with a warmth and honesty that was both touching and revealing. Then there was Jimmy Gault, whose friendship with Elvis spanned decades, offering insights into the king's more private moments. Each voice added depth, texture, and a humanity that books about celebrities often lack. As I reflect on this journey, I am reminded of the power of storytelling. These memories, shared over tea or in quiet moments, have been transformed into a narrative that continues to resonate. They remind us that history is not just about dates and events, it's about the people who lived those moments and the ripples their lives created. In the end, this book is more than just a collection of stories. It's a tribute to the people who made Elvis Presley who he was, a man shaped by those around him, and in turn, a force that changed the world. Their stories deserve to be told, and here they are, finally, in all their raw and beautiful glory. Elvis Presley's early life and rise to fame is a story that captures the hearts of many. Born in 1935 in a small town in Tennessee, Elvis grew up in a world that wasn't easy. His family, like many during the Great Depression, struggled financially. His dad, Vernon, worked hard, but the money was always tight. Elvis's mom, Gladys, was his biggest supporter, nurturing his love for music from a very young age. Young Elvis was no ordinary kid. He was fascinated by music, spending hours listening and trying to mimic the sounds he heard on the radio. His style was unique, blending country, gospel, and rhythm and blues, which wouldn't become famous until much later. At first, he played guitar and sang in local bands, his voice smooth and powerful, unlike anyone they'd heard before. As Elvis entered his teens, his talent started to shine brighter. He performed at school events and local competitions, winning hearts with his voice and charisma. It was during this time he met people who would help shape his career, like Sam Phillips, the owner of Sun Records. Sam saw something special in Elvis and decided to record him. That recording session in 1954 changed everything. Songs like That's All Right showed the world a new sound, a mix that would become rock and roll. Elvis's first hit songs, such as Heartbreak Hotel, catapulted him to fame. He became the King, a title that fit perfectly. His music videos and live performances were like nothing before. Fans flocked to see him, not just for the music, but for the show he put on. Elvis was more than a singer, he was a performer who captured the spirit of a generation. His rise wasn't without challenges. Elvis had to serve in the military, a break from the spotlight but a necessary part of his life. While away, he continued to influence music, even from afar. When he returned, he was more popular than ever, filling stadiums and topping charts. Elvis's personal life was as colorful as his career. He married Priscilla in 1967, and they had a daughter, Lisa Marie, bringing joy amidst the chaos of fame. His relationships, both personal and professional, were complex. He had close friends like Frank Sinatra and Sam Phillips, but also dealt with figures like Colonel Parker, who managed his career but often took more than he gave. Through it all, Elvis's music remained his strength. Songs like Jailhouse Rock and Hound Dog became classics still played today. His performances, especially on shows like The Ed Sullivan Show, showed his talent to millions. Elvis wasn't just singing, he was telling stories through his music, connecting with people in a way few could. As the years went by, Elvis faced health issues, battling weight and the effects of years on the road. Yet he kept performing, driven by his love for music and his fans. His last performances were a testament to his endurance, leaving fans yearning for more. Elvis Presley's journey from a boy in Tupelo to a global icon is one of determination and talent. His music broke barriers and brought people together, a legacy that continues to inspire. Even today, when we hear his voice, we're reminded of a time when music was raw, honest, and filled with passion. Elvis might not be with us, but his songs live on, echoing the spirit of an era and the heart of a king. Let's dive into the world of books that tell stories about music and the people behind it. These aren't just any books, they're special because they mix the life stories of amazing musicians with the songs that made us move and feel. Here, we'll explore 3 such books that will make you think about music in a new way. Walk Like a Man is a funny and heartfelt mix of stories. It's written by Robert J. Wiersma, a man who loves Bruce Springsteen's music. Wiersma grew up listening to Springsteen's songs, just like many of us did. The book takes us on a journey from Wiersma's youth, where he dreamed big like Springsteen's songs made him dream, to becoming a father himself. It's like a diary, but instead of just writing about yourself, it's about how music shaped your life. This book is 208 pages long and costs £12.99. You can find it in bookstores or order it online from the Robson Press website. Strings Attached tells the story of John Williams, a musician who has played guitar for some of the most famous bands and solo artists. Written by William Starlings, this book dives deep into Williams' life from his early days in Australia to his global success. Williams didn't just play classical music, he also helped popularize music from South America and Africa, showing how music can connect people from different places. The book is 416 pages and priced at £25. Like the previous book, it's available at bookshops or through the Robson Press website. Next up is Lonnie Donegan and the Birth of British Rock and Roll by Patrick Humphreys. This book is about Lonnie Donegan, a musician who changed everything when he started playing in 1956. His energetic skiffle music was like a wake-up call for a whole generation. Before big names like Elvis and the Beatles, Donegan was there, picking up his guitar and inspiring others. His story is 416 pages long and costs the same as the previous books, £25. It's a journey through the beginning of British rock and roll, showing how one person can start a movement. You can find this book in stores or online too. Lastly, Mick by Christopher Anderson is all about Mick Jagger, the legendary lead singer of the Rolling Stones. This book is special because it's based on interviews with people who knew Mick, including bandmates, fans, and even celebrities like Andy Warhol and Bill Clinton. It reveals new and exciting stories about Mick's life, including his relationships and adventures. With 384 pages and priced at £25, this book is another gem from the Robson Press. It tells the story of a living legend, showing us who Mick Jagger really is beyond the music. These books remind us that music is not just about the songs. It's about the people who make the music and how those songs touch our lives. They take us on adventures through sound, showing us how music can tell stories, connect cultures, and change the world. Whether you're a huge fan of these artists or just curious about music's power, these books offer something for everyone. They invite you to listen with new ears, seeing the music and the people behind it in a whole new light.